الله الرحمن الرحيم.
وتابة الأرض. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن أبي هريرة قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: ثلاث إذا خرجنا لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا: طلوع الشمس من مغربها، والدجال، ودابة الأرض. رواه مسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رأيتنا authority of Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He said that Rasulullah said three signs. إذا خرجنا, which translated when they emerge, when they make their appearance. لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها, then its iman, it will not benefit a soul its iman. It will not benefit a soul its iman. In other words, a person who brings belief after this, it will not benefit him. The right iman, لم تكن آمنت من قبل, they did not believe before. So a soul that was not believing before, all of a sudden we see these signs now it want to bring iman, right? أو كسبت في إيمانها. So this is عطف upon the لم تكن آمن من قبل, he did not believe before. أو كسب, he did not earn في إيمان, in his iman, any goodness, right? What are they? طلوع الشمس من مغربها, the rising of the sun from the west. والدجال, and the Dajjal, appearance of Dajjal. ودابة الأرض, and the animals from the earth. رواه مسلم. Imam Muslim narrates this particular riwayat. We discussed something similar yesterday. That, remember, our belief is iman in the unseen. You must believe الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. You must have faith in the word of Allah. You must have faith in the word of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So you must believe, you must accept their word, and you must believe. So this is also the reason, in the hikmah, the wisdom, why Allah Ta'ala does not open up too much things from the unseen. Now and then Allah Ta'ala will randomly open up things from the unseen, miracles, etc., etc. But it does not become a norm. It is rather the exception. Because if Allah Ta'ala, every time a non-Muslim does something wrong, if a non-Muslim oppresses a Muslim, Allah Ta'ala destroys that person immediately. So where's the faith? Where's the iman? That means you are believing in what you are seeing. You see what I'm saying? So that's why Allah Ta'ala conceals things from the unseen, so that your faith, your iman is on the unseen. So similar here, like we told you, on an individual basis, your iman is accepted until the things of the unseen is not opened up to you. In Allah يقبل توبة العبد ما لم يغرر. So that is on an individual basis. And on a collective basis for our whole ummah, I told you, until the things of the unseen are not. And here Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam explained some major things of the unseen, right? This طلوع الشمس من مغربها, the sun will rise from the west, the emergence of the Dajjal, the Dabat al-Ard. So until this point in time, you've got a chance to accept, you've got a chance to believe, you've got a chance to reform, right? But once this happens, then there is no hope. There is no hope for the Pope. Then you cannot accept, you cannot change, it will not benefit you. So in other words, the hadith is an exhortation like the one before this. بادروا بالأعمال ستا: الدخان والدجال ودابة الأرض وطلوع الشمس من مغربها وحمر العامة وخويشة أحدكم. Right. So we need to, now that we are free, we are farig, we are not occupied, we should use our energies and our resources in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here also the Shareef messed up saying something interesting. Remember we told you the Mu'tazilats and the Khawarij, they are that extreme group we discussed in the beginning that they say A'mal is an integral part of your faith. To such an extent, if you not engage in good A'mal, if you do not shun big sins, then you will not go to Jannah, right? Remember, we said, yes, the A'mal is important, etc., is very important, but it's not part of your faith. To such an extent, according to us, that even if you have the let's say iman, but you don't have the amal, then Allah Ta'ala through His mercy, His clemency, He can't forgive you. But the default ruling is you'll have to get some time in Jahannam to purify yourself. And they believe, but what was they believe? That if you don't have good deeds, then just like how your iman is not complete yeah, because you don't have good deeds, so you will not enter Jannah right at all. Like so they say that, so to say, amal is part of your iman, right? So they're saying same. They're trying to use this. They see the pearl here once. This is the istilal they're making it to say, like how we say, once you make ghara, then your iman is not accepted. So we say no. That is not what it means. This is not. So they were saying same like this here, same like this. That how your, once these signs appear, your iman will not benefit yourself. Your iman will not benefit you. So same thing they say that if you die with big sins, your iman will not benefit you, right? So we say يوم يأتي بعض آيات ربك لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها ولا كسب العمل الصالح في إيمانها حينئذ إذا لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا. We say what that doesn't mean. Does mean that you are taking out. All that this means is just that once the mukashafatul ghaib, once things from the unseen is opened up, then your iman is not accepted. It is not saying that your that if you don't have good deeds, etc., you will not enter Jannah. Right? This is the next one. رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حين غربت الشمس أتدري أين تذهب هذه؟ قلت الله ورسوله لم تحمل مشرك تحزن فلا يؤمن لها قول لها ارجعي تترك بمغربها كذلك قول تعالى والشمس التي مستقر لها قال مستقرها تحت العرش. Okay, another interesting hadith. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن أبي ذر قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حين غربت الشمس. That narrating of Abu Dhar, he said Rasulullah said when the sun set one day أتدري أين تذهب هذه. Nabi said to Abu Dhar, do you know where this sits? هذه قلت الله ورسوله أعلم. Allah and His Rasul knows best where they sit. قال فإنها تذهب حتى تسجد تحت العرش. So Nabi said that verily, right, إنها تذهب, it goes until it makes sajda beneath the arsh of Allah Ta'ala. It makes sajda beneath the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then فَتَسْتَعْذِنُ, then it seeks permission that it must rise. فَيُؤْذَنُ لَهَا, then it is permitted for it, right? So in other words, it's what he's saying is, sun does not rise in any place except with the permission of Allah Ta'ala. وَيُوشِكُ أَن تَسْجُدَ, it's close that it will, the time is close that one day it will make sajda, وَلَا تُقْبَلْ مِنْهَا, and it will not be accepted from it. In other words, when it seeks permission from Allah Ta'ala, Ya Allah, I wish to rise in a certain place, right? Permission will not be given. وَلَا تُقْبَلْ مِنْهَا وَتَسْتَعْذِنُ, it will seek permission, فَلَا يُؤْذَنُ لَهَا وَيُقَالُ لَهَا, it will say, إِرْجِعِي مِنْ حَيْثُ جِئْتِ, go back where you come from. Follow what he's saying here. Follow what he's saying first. See, forget about what science says. I'm going to discuss that now. Just imagine this here, that the sun wants to rise in a particular place. just for the moment, just think like this here, that the sun want to rise in a particular place, right? And it seeks permission from Allah Ta'ala that, Ya Allah, I want to rise in this place here. And as I said, just put science aside at the moment. Just put science aside. Put all what we know about, the sun orbiting around, or rather the earth rotating on its axis, and that's how you get night and day. Just leave that moment for Uncle Amy out. Just put all of that aside for a moment, right? Just imagine this here, that the sun wants to rise in a particular place, and then it asks Allah Ta'ala permission that, look, Ya Allah, I want to rise, just say in our place, I want to rise in Port Elizabeth today, right? So normally it rises in the east and it sets in the west. So Allah Ta'ala says, go back where you come from. Go back where you come from. So now it appears again on the western horizon, not on the eastern horizon, right? You understood that? Right. ارجعي من حيث جئت فتطلع من مغربها, then it rises from the west. فذلك قوله, and then the wisdom said that is the statement of Allah Ta'ala, والشمس تجري لمستقر لها, that the sun, it moves on its fixed orbit. قال مستقرها تحت العرش, and Nabi Sallallahu explained that the fixed orbit to mean beneath the arsh of Allah Ta'ala, and this is a muttafaq alayhi riwayat. Now, see, I told you just for the moment, just take it like this, that uh, the sun, what the hadith is saying, the sun doesn't rise in any place. First it goes, it makes sajda beneath the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It takes permission to rise in a particular place. And then once it gets permission, it goes and it rises in the east of the place, right? Whatever place it wants to rise in. And one day it will go to Allah Ta'ala and it will take permission. It will make sajda in front of Allah Ta'ala, and I want to rise in a particular place, and permission will not be granted. It say go back. So it will rise in that place from the west, contrary to the norm of rising in the east, right? That you understood. That's what the hadith is saying, right? Next point, what I want you to take note of, this will be from amongst the major signs of Qiyamah. We discussed this earlier, of the not only of the major signs, but even the major signs that are closer to Qiyamah, right? Remember, we done the major signs that are still a bit distant from Qiyamah. And just see, but it was working all the time in between the fan. Okay, so that's what it means, right? So it is from amongst the major signs of Qiyamah that is closer to Qiyamah, not the early. It's not the early signs of the major signs, the latter signs of the major signs, right? So firstly, before we carry on, I want to draw your attention to another verse. It is a verse that says in the Quran, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ. Right? There's nothing in this world except that it makes the tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So does that mean that also says subhanallah, like our human being, we have a tongue, right? We say subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, there's nothing except it makes tasbih. Or does it mean that, everything could be making tasbih according to its shan, according to how it has been created, like a tree? So what are the hadith is saying? A tree, a stone, everything, every created object, it makes the tasbih of Allah Ta'ala. So it could very well mean that it makes according to its standard, not like our standard. You understand what I'm saying? So same thing. One is you say, okay, we go one step back. I forgot one step. Why don't you take this from among the mutashabih ayat? Those things that relate to Allah Ta'ala that we can't make sense of it, but we believe in it. We say that this year, whatever Allah Ta'ala is saying here, it is true, it is correct. We don't know what it means, etc. But we believe in it. That's one. The second explanation I tell you is that you say that, look here, that like how Allah Ta'ala said, if not now created, there's no created thing except that it makes the tasbih of Allah Ta'ala. Same thing here. This also, it makes sajda, but it doesn't necessarily mean like us, like a human being. You go onto your fours and you make sajda. It got its own way of making sajda. It is under the command of Allah Ta'ala. Like even, even in, like, in this dunya, even if you want to speak about somebody's subservience, somebody's loyalty, you say, this guy here, Ahmed, he makes sajda in front of his wife. And which he's so under the control of his wife. He's so under, which you tell him, don't come to madrasa, he don't come to madrasa. So what do you mean? Do you mean this guy is physically making sajda by his wife? No. You mean he is under the control of his wife. So same thing here, it could be not literal, it is metaphorical, majazi. That, son is under the complete control of Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala, inna rabbakumullahu alladhi khalaqa samawati wal arda fi sittati ayyamin thumma istawa al-arsh. Allah Ta'ala created everything. So that is one explanation. That these things are under the total control of Allah Ta'ala. It doesn't mean it is physically going, like how I say, it's kalame majazi. It is a metaphorical speech, it's a figure of speech. It doesn't mean the sun goes physically and it makes such the under the, because we know why I'm giving explanation. We want to try to harmonize between science. We know that the sun, it has an orbit which it moves on, right? And the earth actually moves. It's actually the rotation of the earth that creates the day and night. When your particular area is exposed to the sun, then you have the day, and as the earth turn away from there, and you turn away from the sun, then that is the night, isn't it? And then also there's another type of movement which creates, that is when you are coming closer to the sun, then winter, when it tilts away from the sun, then it is, so when it tilts towards the sun, that is the summer. When it tilts away from the sun, then it's winter, right? So I was telling you, every created thing of Allah Ta'ala, it got its own way of showing its obedience. It got its own way of showing its subservience to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So if it doesn't mean like how a human being is doing it, right? Even though maybe the sun is in its physical place, it is there, it is giving its radiant light off. But if it has a, from where it is, wherever it is taking permission from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Can my light reflect on this place? Is my light allowed to reflect on this place? Whatever you're saying. Then another thing is that also, many things that previously, from a science point of view, maybe it never makes sense. But with the progress in science, it makes sense. You see, hey, there's so many things, there's hundreds of verses in the Quran that it never makes sense. But as you see, uncovering new things, we're uncovering new things. Look at this part here. تجري لمستقر لها. In other words, it follows its orbit exactly like how Allah Ta'ala, and the day Allah Ta'ala wants it to change course, it will change course, right? And another interesting thing here, they say, when we say another explanation also to understand this, it follows mustaqar. It follows its fixed course. Like how we say it follows its pattern. We could even say that there's two types of mustaqar. One is mustaqar zamani, and one is mustaqar. It follows its fixed time. The time that Allah is allotted. And mustaqar makani means it follows its fixed place. So if you take it to mean mustaqar zamani, then that's very easy to understand. What it basically means is here that it will follow mustaqar makani, it will follow, right? Sorry, mustaqar zamani means it's fixed the time. It will follow the time which Allah Ta'ala wants it to rise in a particular place. And the day Allah Ta'ala doesn't want it to rise, it won't rise in that place. You understand what I'm saying? So mustaqar could refer to zaman or makan. So when Qiyamah comes, now its directive will change. It now you do not. So now it's not following the time which you was following previously. Are you with me? That's why it says, ذَلِكَ مُسْتَقَرُّ لَهَا إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى. it will follow that pattern till a fixed time. And when Allah Ta'ala decides that the time for it to follow that pattern is not there, you're saying mustaqarri makani, that Allah Ta'ala said now the time for it to follow that pattern is over, is not anymore there. Then when Allah decides now the sun must set, must rise from the west, and now Qiyamah is closed, then it will be over, right? Anyway, can I read the next one?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وعن عمران بن حسين رضي الله تعالى عنهما قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال
ما بين خلق آدم.
من الدجال رواه.
اوكي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن عمران بن حسين قال سمعت بين خلق آدم إلى قيام الساعة أمر أكبر من الدجال رواه مسلم. What is the hadith saying? Tell me in your own words what he's saying there. What she tell me saying? Is right? Okay, you think it's right. It's from the time of Adam, from the advent of man on this dunya, which was we done that, alhamdulillah, we done that. See, alhamdulillah, we're doing the beginning and we're doing the end. When we started about the arrival of Adam alayhi salam and the reasons and the cause why he came to the dunya, right? We discussed that in Tafsir, and here now, alhamdulillah, the grace of Allah, we discussed in the end times. So from the beginning of time, that is the arrival of Adam alayhi salam in this dunya, till Qiyamah, which is the end time of man, there is no event more greater and more eventful than Dajjal. In other words, it is the most eventful thing. It is the greatest fitna that will beset and will the greatest test that will afflict this ummah. And then, as we go, you'll see in the next hadith we're going to do, there's mention that no Nabi came except that he warned his people that the Dajjal is coming. So maybe at that point in time, Allah Ta'ala never give all the details to say that, like, no, the Dajjal won't be in your ummah, or it will be the ummah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. At that time, Allah Ta'ala only maybe informed the Nabi about the Dajjal, right? So he never give the details, know that the Dajjal will come only to the latter stages, whatever. So every Nabi would inform, because it was such a great event that would come, a great test that would afflict this ummah. And I told you that some ulama will even go to the venture just much to say that the Dajjal is not a physical being, maybe it's a system. It is a system. Maybe it's like how you get this, and as the word suggests, Dajjal means deceit. Like, it's not what meets the eye. There's something that more than what meets the eye. And you get these people, you get these secret societies, you get these Freemasons. They're in fact the people that control the world through the monetary system. They control everything through their technology and through their policy, etc. So even if we say, like as I said, the preferred explanation, according to the ulama, is that the Dajjal is not just a system, but it's a physical person that will come. But even if we say now that the Dajjal is a physical person that will come, it does not preclude the idea that in the run-up to the advent of, or the arrival of the Dajjal, that there will be a lot of Dajjal, a lot of obfuscation. You don't know what is happening, who are the people controlling the things. Definitely not the presidents. Whether, if you look at America, whether that president is there, whether it is Biden there, or whether it is Trump there, there's no change. The policy is the same thing. When the old president was there, they were slaughtering the Muslims. When the new president is there, they're still slaughtering the Muslims. A totally different party, but same policy. What does it show you? They show you that they are not the people that are in control. There's some other people that are in control behind the scenes. So as I told you, that's what you say, Dajjal, deceit, deception. You don't know what is happening. So even if we go with the Orthodox belief that the child is a physical person, it's not a system, but that does not preclude the idea that there will be a great deal of perception to the advent of Dajjal, where you don't know whether you are coming or going, you don't know who's controlling, etc. Read the next hadith. And if you look at the next hadith, where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his physical description of the Dajjal, that is why we will say the Dajjal is a physical person. Remember, you've done it in Balagha, and also you've done it in Usul al-Fiqh. That words, you always take them on the original meanings. You don't move away from a literal meaning to a majazi meaning. Only when it's impossible to take the literal meaning, then you move to a majazi meaning. So we take everything in its literal sense. Okay, read the next hadith.
قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله لا يخفى عليكم إنه
Okay, interesting hadith. And I'm telling you, this is the reason why our ulama, they of the opinion that the child is a physical person. It is not a system. It is not a a secret society. See, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وعن عبد الله قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله لا يخفى عليكم إن الله ليس بأعور وإن المسيح الدجال أعور أعور عين اليمنى كان عينه إنبة طافية متفق عليه. Well, Nabi Sama explains in a simple way that look here, let me translate verse and tell you. The right authority of Abdullah he said that Rasul said, in in Allah la yakhfa. Allah Ta'ala is not hidden from you. You know who Allah Ta'ala is. You al-wahid al-qahhar al-samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Laysa kamithlihi shay, right? Inna Allah laysa bi'awar. Allah Ta'ala is not. Now, awar normally refer to a person who has one eye. A person, if one eye is defective, one eye is faulty. So, a human being that has a defective eye, how can he be Allah Ta'ala? First, he can't be Allah Ta'ala because Allah Ta'ala is not a human being. Allah Ta'ala does not have form. Allah Ta'ala does not have shape. And then on top of it, you're saying Allah Ta'ala is a human and it's also a defective human being, a woman with one eye. Right? So when the Dajjal comes, no matter how much powers he wields, right? In English, what they call it, the Dajjal, the Antichrist, what they call him, the Antichrist. So when the Antichrist comes, no matter what powers he wields, what miracles when it manifests itself at his hands, right? Remember, he is not your Allah. He is not your Allah because your Allah is not a human being. And that also, he is not a one-eyed human being, a defective human being. Your Allah Ta'ala is way beyond it. Your Allah Ta'ala is the creator, right? وَإِنَّ الْمَسِيحَ الدَّجَّالَ. Now remember, the Antichrist that will come, that will, he will deceive the people. He is I told you Masih means he will travel extensively, right? أعور العين اليمنى. He will have a defective right eye. كأن عينه as though his eye will be إنبة طافية, like a protruding grape, right? In other words, I know sometimes you see some people's eye when it is damaged. It doesn't have, you don't see white, you don't see black, you don't see the pupil. It is like one color because there's some damage in it. So that's making a reference to that. I told you uh, that the Dajjal will be one of the greatest fitnas or greatest fitan that will affect this ummah. And because we as human beings, we are very affected by our surroundings. We are affected by our surroundings. When we are a human being, natural tendency is always in awe of those people that are in power. That's the nice I'm saying. He's always in awe, man. This is he is in awe of those people that has been empowered upon him. Like there's something called Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is this. So sometimes, people are taken as prisoner. And when they are taken as prisoner, they are in awe of the people that was empowered above them. They're impressed with their ways. They're impressed with the mannerism, the way they dress. You're impressed with the way they eat, etc., etc. You understand what I'm saying? Welcome back, Moulana. So generally, man is in awe of those people. Now, there was few instances recently where some Muslim people, they captured non-Muslim journalists. There was this one, the famous one, Yvonne Rudley, and there's another one also recently in Mali. They captured a white woman. When they came back, they accepted Islam. Maybe they saw, the people practicing Islam, so they're impressed with Islam. But it's something called Stockholm, where you are impressed with your captor because he's got power over you. You understand what I'm saying? That is why also in a Muslim country, you allow the limit to live there. You must pay his jizya. You must come and give his jizya and you must pay. Why? Because um, you see the Muslims are in power, so he will be in awe of the Muslims and he also want to be like the Muslims. right? So this is called Stockholm syndrome, where you are in all of those people that have been empowered upon you. If you look at, if you go back just to the Indo-Pak subcontinent, when the British ruled India, at that point in time, they came with their technology. They were brutal. They were cruel. So the local India population, they were totally in awe of the British. They were totally in awe of British. In their mind, they were thinking that in order to progress, need to westernize, they need to remove the shackles of Islam. And in certain places in the world till today, they have this Islamic world, they have this belief, this ideology that for us to progress, for us to compete with the rest of the world, we need to shed our Islamic image. If you look at the fall of the Ottoman Khilafat, one of the main reasons is we had the Young Turks. They believe we need to get rid of Islam. Islam is keeping us backwards. Islam is retrogressive. We need to modernize. That is why they banned Arabic. They banned the Quran. They didn't allow the woman to wear hijab, etc., because they want to become like Europe. They want to westernize. In their mind, they thought Islam is keeping them backwards. So what I was saying here is that so a man is in awe of those people who are empowered. They tell today, even if you go to certain places of the Muslim world, they believe that in order for us to progress, we need to shed our Islamic image and we need to adopt a Western image, a Western lifestyle, and then we'll progress. That is why you'll see, if you go back to the fatwa books, you see many a times our ulama, they give fatwa against adopting the lifestyle of the British. Imagine if I tell you it is not permissible to speak English. You say, what type of fatwa is this that you can't speak English? You must speak your native language. You say, what type? How can you not speak? We all speak English. But actually, the ulama in India, they one time they gave that fatwa. In India, they actually gave, but you need to understand the reason why they gave that fatwa. The reason why they gave that fatwa was this, that the British were ruling. Uncle Ivy, thank you. The British were ruling. So the so what would happen because the Muslim was so impressed with the British, they wanted to adopt their lifestyle. And so when if they to learn English, it means that it doesn't stop there. They want to learn English, then they want to do eat like them, they want to dress like them, and they want to behave them. So learning English was not just a language, but it was representative of our whole lifestyle. So when you learn to speak English, you want to love like the English, you want to eat like the English. That is why under those circumstances that fatwa was given. You understand what I'm saying? So now I give you long explanation. The long explanation I want to show to you this here is that you are in awe of those people that are empowered upon you. So same thing. This is why the Dajjal will be such a great fitna. The Dajjal will be such a great fitna. You will wield a great deal of power. You will wield a great deal of power. And like because of this power, because of these miracles, people will be in awe of them. And they will believe now for us to also get this power, for us to get this salvation, for us to get the success, we must also now submit to him. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has warned us and he's cautioned us that your Lord is not, your Rob is not a human being. And that also a human being will say, cockeyed eye, I see them. So like the previous text that showed us that the greatest fitna and the reason why it will be such a great fitna is also because he will claim to be divine and he will be claimed to be like Allah Ta'ala. And Allah Ta'ala will give him that power as a test also, like how Shaitan was also with this. Shaitan was also given powers, etc. as a test. You understood that? And remember we said this where a impious person, where a ungodly person is given power. This is what istidraj. Remember we done this here, right? So the beast also has given us simple things to tell you that your Lord is not somebody that will be on the earth, etc., that will come and claim just, and he will have he'll be one-eyed. I told you, in Ibn Tafiyah, yeah, also the reason why it's like, so I don't know if you saw that sometimes when a person has a problem with his eye, it's like more, it's like a bluish color, blackish color. So here it's likened to a bluish, blackish grape, a protruding grape, which obviously is, you can say, not very good looking. So the one side of his face will be, so to say, flat, and on the other side he will have this protruding, this protruding um, a grape that looks like a grape, right? So interesting thing here, if you can understand this here, here in this hadith here, look nicely there. I want you to look. It says there, uh, here it says, "A'waru ayna al-yumna," that his right eye is a problem with it. So what it says, there's a problem with his right eye, which is, so to say, blind or whatever, right? But the next hadith, the hadith number 11, speaks about a problem in the left eye. So this hadith saying there's a problem with the right eye, and the next hadith number 11 speaks about a problem which is a left eye. So if you look at here to the intibaq between all of this here, if you look at all the hadith, what it means here is this, that both of his eyes were not perfect. There was a problem with both the right eye and the left eye. So our means there's a problem, we got the problem, person got problem with his eyes. So there's a problem with his right eye and there's a problem with his left eye. So the right eye was, so to say, the right is smooth. There's nothing there. And on the left, you've got this protruding eye, right? Which is also mentioned, hadith number 11, we will come. And also the next hadith, A'waru ayn al-yusra, which speaks about with the left eye also. So this also, this words also come, mamsuhul ayni laysat binatiyatin wala hajra'a. Mamsuha means like flat also, which I told you there earlier, right? So, okay, so remember this. When you come across the hadith, some speaking about the problem with the right eye, some people speaking about the problem with the left eye. It's not a contradiction, but rather we'll say, yeah, the problem with both eyes. Even the working and the function eye, it wasn't perfect. It was also, so to say, defective to a certain extent. Okay, we stop the time is up. Let's switch over, inshallah.